The goat. No, I'm not a goat. But good morning. All right, so let's start with the market review. Once again, that's where I always start my review with Traders Lab first. So once again, but first, hey, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed the time off and ready for this new week full of opportunity and a bit exciting. Let's see if we can follow through on last week's setup. But if we do, we could be into some maybe multiple weeks of new uptrends. So that's exciting. But we always keep an open mind, right? So let's see if we can follow through on that strength. All right, so first thing, looking at the NASDAQ dashboard. So we had now 2 days of uptrend attempts. It started on Thursday of last week. As we saw Thursday of last week, we had kind of the post FOMC reaction, so on that gap up, and that's when the McClellan summation turned up. And we were able to follow through on that on Friday. So we had a big OPEX, so option expiration. It was quad witching and rebalancing as well. So a lot of action on Friday. We had a shakeout and we saw the McClellan oscillator. Cannot hear or view anything. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the reminder. I have to share my screen. There you go. Is it better that way? Audio is supposed to be good, all good, working for me, okay for me, good, okay. So maybe check on your side, it's supposed to be good. The mic is on, volume is good. I see it's working on my side and it seems to be the feedback from everyone. So I'll continue from that. So yeah, what I was explaining is basically we went into FOMC with that daily structure reclaim right on QQQE. That's what we wanted to see. Then came 3 tight days into FOMC and we had that kind of retest and back test and reconfirmation of the trend on FOMC. And then good reaction on Thursday after FOMC, and then a bit of a shakeout on Friday, and we're right into those July's high. So that's kind of the area that was logical for some kind of shakeout. So we're kind of struggling. So either that we reject that, see a bit of weakness of shakeout today to create a higher low, or we had that Friday and we can have that trend continuation and new high from here. So just looking at price action, when we start to trend above the now rising 21 DMA structure, I tend to just at the back of my mind just tell me that the uptrend is kind of engaged and I'm not trying to overthink anything and just letting things play out and following my own positions and my portfolio first. So this week we'll really have to see if breadth start to expand. That's what we want to see, right? So basically we're contracting. So we see breadth contracting since the end of that April's rally. We had a bit of consolidation, tighter consolidation before the market kind of went into that sideways base. But yeah, breadth was contracting for a few weeks and even months. So yeah, we do have a lot of space to the upside for a market continuation and new uptrend. That's what I'm playing. That's the feedback that we get um, in our portfolio, in our position, in our new trade, etc., etc. So it seems that it's only UK related. You'll have to move to Canada or the US, guys. All right, so yeah, that's about Brett. We want to see that confirm the 10 DMA reclaim, and we're very very close to do so. So maybe today, if we can get some strength and follow through, we should see that reclaim. That would be a nice confirmation that we might see a new trend. So maybe it's a short-lived one. We don't know, but it's not our job to guess. So we engage when the setup is there. We engage, and we follow the feedback. So we go into that new uptrend, potential new uptrend, with that mindset that we have good exposure, had good risk reward spot. We have the exposure that we want. We de-risked a bit of that exposure and trim into strength. And then it's just to let the market do its thing and surprise us. Sometimes we will get a very strong rally like in April. Sometimes it's short-lived, but it's important to just go into it with an open mind and not trying to know how long and how strong that uptrend will be. That's personally the mindset that serves me well. And yeah, just want to pass that to you guys. So Brett extension as well, showing that more upside is possible. Even very short-term Brett is still neutral. So either way, the market has room to go. All right, so let's look at the internals. So always looking at credit spreads, like you know, guys. I like that look. So we had that big weekly structure that we broke down 3 weeks ago. And finally, last week, we broke those lows and that kind of tight wedge structure, and we made a new low. So either that's a shakeout and we spring back up, or we really have a new kind of uptrend, a new trend on credit spreads, and more risk on assets is being priced in a way. So when we see that strong weekly and daily downtrend on the credit spreads, it means a risk on market. VIX, typical Monday gap up. So that I don't remember the last time that I didn't see a gap up on Monday. But yeah, we're still in that weekly structure, downtrend in the structure, as long as the weekly structure holds, and even if we have kind of those daily spikes, which are only healthy in an uptrend, as long as we don't give that weekly structure, I think we're all good. Bitcoin, we talked about that last week, right? And I was kind of feeling it that it was not ready. So when you see from the lows, we're just very very tight, as we almost build kind of a flag, and it don't shake out, it don't kind of make a new higher low with a decent pullback. I'm just very aware of the look of it, and especially on the weekly, right? We talked about that. I think it was Thursday and Friday. I had that wedge and that flag into a retest of now a declining weekly structure in my mind. And that's why I closed my EBIT position. And yeah, it was possible that we kind of just reclaimed that weekly structure, and at first that's what I was playing. But once I saw that we were closing the week pretty weak, I certainly didn't want that risk into the weekend. And look what happened. I'm not here to say that I was right, just explaining my thought process, why I thought that it needed more time, right? So when you see kind of that rally into a declining structure, we're coming off from a big base area structure retest. So obviously I'm still long focused for Bitcoin, but when you see kind of those 3 weeks into declining structure and we're getting weak, you can expect some type of shakeout and higher low structure being made. And that pivot, we talked about that last week as potentially being very constructive, that we retest that structure right here and we make that higher low, which would very set up Bitcoin very much constructively. And that's what I'm looking this week. So I think that Bitcoin, you can let it maybe build the right side for a few days, see if it holds. It's possible that we just roll over and start a new downtrend. We don't know, and that's why we wait for confirmation. So look the right side, how we build in the next few days. I'm really not in a hurry to play Bitcoin right here and kind of buy the daily dip. I want to see tight action. I want to see some kind of range being built on the right side, and maybe try to play kind of the 21 DMA structure, so the daily structure reclaim. That would be kind of the daily setup, confirming the higher low and retest on the weekly. So that's how I will approach Bitcoin this week. So NQ, if we factor the mega caps as well, so weekly looks amazing. So you can't be bearish right now. If you're bearish here, you're just trying to be right, and you're trading your ego. Sorry, but there's nothing bearish about a market making a new all-time high. Even if it extended, it's okay. You can expect. I reckon and I recognize that price is extended, but does it mean that we're going into a correction? No. We might simply need to cool off a bit, maybe retest that reversal pivot today or in the next few days to create that shakeout. Maybe we go and we just continue into that strong uptrend. But personally, seeing that big weekly breakout, I'm just looking at a larger trend taking place, and it's confirmed by the McClellan summation and the breadth extensions as well. So yeah, we had that breakout on the Qs on NQ, so the futures, before the QQQE even broke out. So we were still kind of in that area right here once the Qs broke out. So it was led by mega caps. But now what we're seeing is breadth is expanding, and that's what we want to see in a strong uptrend. So you have that QQQE, we talked about that, we're right into July's high, so potential resistance. And we'll need to assess how we go from here. So do we need to fill the gap, create that handle on the right side just to create kind of a cup and handle pattern, and we can resume to the upside later this week. That's a bit what I'm looking for, but again, just not expecting much and following that trend. Okay. So let's review the positions. VRT probably still my highest conviction setup. So we still have that big cup and handle on the weekly. We did follow through on the weekly reversal last week. We reclaimed the entire weekly structure and approaching kind of that big multi-month base breakout. So I was able to add a bit on Friday and really happy about it. We did break out from that kind of handle range And that's what I wanted to see after FOMC shakeouts. So yeah, high conviction play. Ideally, we want to see a breakout this week, or we can still tighten up on the right side, but I'm really playing this on the larger time frame on the weekly. GEV, so still building that base in the weekly structure. All good. Friday was a nice shakeout. That's really good when you see those shakeout, because it was very, very weak. It was giving up the daily structure, but look how it came back and buyers stepped in to buy this thing aggressively. We did reclaim the reversal pivot. We did reclaim the 21 EMA. So looking at that flag, we now have a proper higher low, which indicates some kind of trend shift potential right now, and the weekly still have that weekly base build up. So looking good into this week. I had it on Friday, and yeah, I'm looking to de-risk that this week. Rocket Lab, yeah, I was playing this on, and I had it off that reversal pivot that didn't quite work out as expected, but that's okay. We can't be in the green on every position that we open. That's not good expectations. But yeah, it closed right above the 21 EMA. We closed above that reversal pivot that I think is important, and we closed in that range. So Friday afternoon, I told myself just that I would be patient as long that we remain in that area. And yeah, if we give back the daily structure this week, then I will be out of that position. But so far, I like how it builds on the daily and how it builds on the weekly. And remember, that thing was leading big time before we had that. It was an offering news last week. It was on Tuesday. So we sold off, and we have 3 tight days since then. So do we resume to the downside and we need more shakeout and kind of pressure, or we can simply shrug that off and start to lead again? That's what I'm bidding on. Uber, so that's a great reminder to be patient with your position. I know Uber is very hard to trade. It was choppy in the last few weeks, but I'm still playing that big weekly structure. So we had that multi-month and year base in the making. Then we broke out, we retested that structure right here. And then we build that base on base setup with higher lows as well. So last week was the breakout, and I'm expecting that breakout to hold this week. And ideally we push higher, and I can de-risk and take my 2-hour target of that one. But yeah, I really like Uber's chart. And we had that news, Lyft news on Wednesday. One tight day, one tight inside, and Friday we closed strong. That's exactly what you want to see on that kind of news impact. Robinhood, yeah, just nothing to do there. So the weekly trend is strong. We had that weekly base. We had that shakeout below the weekly structure. We closed to a new high on Friday. At this point, you just trail your structure and just don't overthink that trade. Tesla, I'm playing this on the weekly structure once again. So yeah, it's flagging on the daily, just doing nothing wrong. I have my 5-hour target around that high. So it's just a question of being patient and letting this trade work of the weekly structure. Same thing for PLTR. So very great action following FOMC. We had that shakeout, higher low, and we had 3 very strong days. So will it continue? Expectation would be things to tighten up and maybe backfill a bit. kind of build that right side handle just below those August highs. So that's a bit where I stand with PLTR action this week. But I'm just following that trend. I'm trading this of the weekly now. So we had that weekly reversal pivot breakout, and last week we had a retest and close to a new high. So the weekly trend is strong, and this is their risk position. So I'm just trading the weekly structure, and I will see where it goes. Same thing for Micron. Just nothing to do. We do have earnings tomorrow night, so please adjust your position accordingly. We might see some good volatility, especially now that it's extended. So just make sure to adjust your risk if you want to go into earnings. Warner Bros. Still nothing to do. There's no bid out yet. And Oklo, massive day on Friday. I don't know if it's some kind of squeeze or anything. I don't know, but I'm still on my runner, and yeah, letting this thing run, and I will see off the weekly where we go from here. So maybe we have some kind of action, a bit like last October in 2024, and we need to kind of retest the weekly structure. And if that happens, I'm not in a hurry. I'm close to 100% move on this one since my entry, so I'm just waiting for things to play out. And what did we have on focus list? Let me just look into it. Yeah, okay, so Nvidia, and that's the same game plan as I explained Friday, right? I want to see some tight action on the right side. It's too wide right now, and that's why I didn't play it. We have 11% swing, 6% swing. I want to see this thing below 5% swing, maybe 2-3% in that range as we just trade around the daily structure. And if we can do that and set up later in the week, that will be a pretty strong setup even on the weekly. No, that was from Friday, so it's gone. Oh yeah, I had GV, so I think GV is still playable. So you can play this of the weekly reversal pivot. So Thursday's high, right here. And I had Dell. So Dell is right now daily structure, so 21 DMA structure reclaim, and I would not play this on strength right here. So we have kind of the first initial confirmation. I would look for the now rising daily structure retest, and that would also give the weekly reversal pivot retest. So Dell, I would look for weakness to play this thing of the weekly pivot retest or the daily structure retest. That would give a pretty nice entry. And the other one is Rivian. So this one, don't play this of the weekly, don't play this on strength. That's pretty choppy and you have wild swings. So I would play this with a larger stop of the weekly reversal pivot, or simply on weakness on the daily. So if we can build a higher low in that kind of area right here, that would offer kind of a good risk reward entry of the daily, as we retest the weekly structure as well. But the play here is one, the team and kind of the chart. So we had that clear downtrend, but now we're creating that stage 1 VCP base, and we clearly have contraction in price. So 90% downtrend, 70, and now it contracts 50, 37, 30. So do we need to tighten up a bit more, or that will be it? But that's the kind of longer term kind of structure that I'm looking at on stuff that gives clues as to what could set up, and that's really off the longer term chart, right? All right, so Alex, how would you act on a stock like QBTS? So what's the question? Are you in the position and want to know how you handle kind of that gap down, or if I'm looking for an entry? Just not sure what the question is. Okay, so you're in. Have you take any trims yet? 2 trims. Okay, so in that case, zoom out. And I'm not here to tell you that this gap down will be bought or anything, but just follow your system. My system, what I would do and what I would have done is probably that kind of entry right here was the that entry that you took. So probably at 2 hard target here, 5 hard target on that swing right here. So now it's now on the runner, only 1/3 on or 1/4 of a position. And once that happen, you just ignore. I just ignore everything, and you see what I did with those position. I just don't care what they do. So Micron, for example, gap down on Friday, but it's in my runners category in TradingView. It's traded off the weekly, so I'm just not looking at it anymore. I will get so I'm reviewing each day my position, and I kind of know what they do, but I will assess the trade at the end of the week. As now my system tell me to trade that of the weekly structure. I'm just trying to get into that larger trend and be patient with your position. So QBTS, that's the same thing. Yeah, that's a nasty gap down, but you trim it into strength. You have good profits. You do have a big weekly breakout, and the weekly structure just started to trend. So yeah, I would be very patient in that case, see where the session goes at the end of the day. But even if it gaps down like, I don't know, 10 or 15%, my system still would keep me in that trade. So maybe Nvidia is waiting for MU. Yeah, good point. Micron, with the way it's run, clearly that's a leading name in the group right now, and that's a good market cap too, right? So 180 billion. So not the biggest, but still should have impact on the whole semiconductors group this week. So yeah, that's a good point. For Nvidia, it should move and maybe wait for Micron earnings. So question from True Anomaly. So do you look at charts all day? I have a full-time job, so trying to develop my system around that. No, I'm not trying to look at chart all day. In fact, I'm trying to do the opposite of that. I'm trying to, and I have to run the community and kind of be with folks. But if I had a full-time job and was not doing that, I would and I'm still working on other things right now. I'm still doing some hobbies and other things, and my goal is not to be at the front of my screen all day. And in fact, I think if you can just kind of really prepare well the night before, know the spots that you want to engage, put alerts. So if you can take trades during the day, if you get your alerts, then fine, you can engage. But otherwise, I try to do everything at the end of the day. So you can wait at the end of the day. So my selling, I try to do that, but the buying, I'm trying to be a bit more kind of flexible and sometimes do during the day. But yeah, I like to do road bikes, so I'm going for rides during the day. I like to let my trades work over multiple, ideally weeks and months. So yeah, I don't want to look at chart all day. Yeah, I think you're at the right place. We're not day traders, so if you see intraday charts in the pit, you can call them out. I give you the right. All right, so question for Renault. I believe you don't trade China names, but what do you think of Futu? Yeah, someone shared that in the idea channel, so I think it looks very good. You have that big base breakout right here. You have kind of the second retest of the weekly structure, a bit deeper one right now, but we are retesting that July's structure. Good weekly stuff, so you can look for the weekly reversal pivot right here, or of the daily. I always like to trade kind of the daily structure reclaim on that weekly setup, so you can look at this structure reclaim right here to engage on the daily, but from the weekly setup. But yeah, it's looking good. Yeah, sometimes I watch new bicycles. That's one of my hobby. All right, so 9:21. Any other questions, guys? I like that red open. To be honest, kind of where we want things to be this morning. Friday's close was wild with Quad Witch. We saw a strong close, and it's just good to see those weekly red open, and keep that in mind, guys. If we don't see that tail on the weekly bars being made on a Monday or Tuesday, it looks a bit suspicious to do it a bit later in the week. So I'm always happy when we create those shakeout and those week opens early on, because then we made the tail on the weekly bar, weekly candle, and then maybe we can see some strength later in the week to create kind of that retest and new high market setup. Do you wait a bit after the market open to place new trades? Yeah, I always wait a bit, at least 5 or 10 minutes. And I don't like to buy strength of the open. When you see me take trades close to the open, that's usually because I take the weakness. So if we see a good shakeout into the open and we retest the daily structure or a reversal pivot, that's the kind of trades that I take early on in the day. And when you see me trade later in the day, at the end of the day, near the close, or later in the day, so that's usually kind of my buy on strength trades. All right, and just to top it off and maybe conclude on that session, my game plan remains the same, right? So I do have a focus list. I'm still looking at stuff, but that's the same game plan as late last week. I do have the exposure that I want. I don't want to be more aggressive than I am here. And the only reason that I would engage in a new name, in a new trade, would be because something is giving up the daily structure, is giving up the confirmation that I wanted to see, and it's lagging. So if it's lagging and it's giving up the daily structure, then I will rotate from that position to a new position. But otherwise, I really want to be patient and start to trim into strength. So ideally, those positions, so VRT, Rocket Lab, GV, Uber, and UD, I want to start to de-risk them. I want to start to trim those 2R targets, and eventually Tesla and Palantir get those 5R targets. Yeah, and start to trim down, and once the market get extended and overbought, I reduce my exposure from 130% last week, 110 right now, to eventually maybe 50-60% in that area once the market is overbought and a pullback comes. And I want to treat that pullback as an opportunity instead of a threat shaking me out because I'm too aggressive, I have too much open risk, etc., etc. So that's really the game plan for me. All right, so have a good day, everyone. Have a good week as well. And if you have any questions, I will be in the trading pit once again, as usual. So good day, everyone. Have a good trading session. Bye-bye.